I'm a former NFL player, but I'm an entrepreneur. Um, I believe in helping people. I try to impact people's lives in a positive way. I've been a powerhouse for youth for years, man, in the Henry County area. Yeah, I'm just a man on fire for God. I'm a passion. I follow my passion, and I just try to do what's best, man, for the community, man. And I'm real interested in seeing the next generation succeed. So my gym's a total athlete sports complex. I got two of them, and we train athletes for speed, agility, football training, basketball training, all that good stuff. But we just don't build the body; we build the mind, the spirit, all that. It's a ministry.
Because you always talk about entrepreneurship. I mean, you're actually out there speaking on it, man. I didn't know you were a motivational speaker until recently.
Well, man, it's always good to be your own boss. And just control your own destiny. A lot of times, man, we get stuck in that box of I'm cool with just working for somebody. There's nothing wrong with that, man. That's good, but to a certain extent. But I'm just real big on just stepping out on faith and being your own man. You know what I mean? My father was an entrepreneur, so it kind of rubbed off on me as well. And I didn't really get into being an entrepreneur until I came to Atlanta. People succeeding here. I was like, man, you're going to adapt to your environment. And I just pretty much adapted to my environment, man. Just open up a restaurant. That was the first thing I did.
You did?
Yes.
That had to be tough.
It was, man. It was tough, but it was a school of hard knocks. It sharpened me as a businessman. It made me a better businessman. I would say that.
That's what entrepreneurship is, man. A lot of people go into their own business and they expect to get rich right away, but there's a lot of work involved there.
It's good to see the end goal and see the reward. But, you got to go through the trials and errors. You got to go through the testing phase. You got to go through the failures. Success comes from failure.
You also have invested a lot in young athletes, and you put a lot of young kids through college.
I believe in building the mind. I tell an athlete this: I train you based off of where you're going, not where you're at. So I'm training that potential man, a woman that's on the inside of you. I'm training you to be that all-state football player. I'm training you to be that Georgia football player or that basketball player or that first-round draft pick, because that's what I see. And I train their mind to where they can take the limits off their mind. I was a master motivator. I knew how to motivate the young kids and get them to think that they can run through a brick wall and stuff. And the parents love that because I knew, and I built relationships with not just the kids, but their parents and the whole family and the community.
But you just had somebody out of your program that went in the top 3 picks.
Yeah, he did. He went number 3 overall, Will Anderson. Will Anderson Jr. went to the Houston Texans, number 3 overall.
Did you see that ability when he first came to your camp?
I did, man. When I saw him, he came to me as a 9th grader out of Dutchtown, a tall, skinny, lanky kid. And I said, this kid can really do something. He was just real raw. But he had the dog in him. He had that mentality. He was tough. I just had to add the skill to it. And we helped him get his first D1 offer to Vanderbilt. And after that, man, it just took off. He got his first offer in the 10th grade.
Man, I tried to get him over to the University of Minnesota Golden Gophers, but I couldn't get close to it.
No, man, he ain't going to do exposure from the ACC.
I couldn't get close, man. Why you guys didn't let me get close, man?
It's hard to take a down south kid and tell him to go up there in the cold.
I had them salivating. I said, man, I'm close. I'm close to it, man. I had them salivating. You actually have a bestseller. Talk about your new book and how were you able to get it to sell so quickly to so many people?
I had an idea, and people been telling me for 3 or 4 years, you need to write a book, man. You got a story to tell, and we all have a story to tell. Sometimes we get caught up in the day-to-day hustle and bustle that we think everybody's story is unique. So everything I do is about having a total mindset. It starts off with the training aspect of it, work ethic, optimization, tenacity, attitude, and leadership. That's what total stands for.
I don't think people really understand how the mind, man, just regulates everything that you do in the future.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, if you believe that you're going to win,
yes,
you're going to win. If you have any doubt in your mind about losing, more than likely that's going to be your destiny.
Amen. You're right, man. It's about having a positive mindset, and I think with people, when they get beat up so much in life and they kind of, their mindset, they were like, well, it ain't going to happen for me, this and that. But you got to be resilient. I'm big on tenacity. that second T that's in total mindset, that tenacity. You gotta have that no matter what. But it's just a mindset. What do you see? I always look at life like this. If this didn't happen for me right now, then God must have something bigger and better for me. I'm not going through what I'm going through for just to live an average life. I'm going through what I'm going through to raise me higher, to put me on a higher level, because it's all about that preparation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, man, because so many things happen to people.
Yes.
And people get down and out. Instead of thinking, you know what, why is this happening to me? Is God trying to show me something different?
Yes, yes.
Is this a time for me to grow, a time for me to learn and come back better?
Right.
Is that the purpose behind your book?
Yes, it is. It is. It's about taking the limits off your mind, seeing the big picture. You know what I mean? Not get caught up in the here and now, but seeing where you're going to be, 5 years, 10 years down the road. Not limiting yourself to just being one-dimensional. Just like me and you, if we would have saw ourselves as just a former NFL player, we would have never became a businessman, a commissioner. You see what I'm saying? But we took the limits off ourselves. Unlike a lot of our, former teammates.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
They get stuck.
They're calling us now saying, "Hey man, how you do that?"
Yeah, exactly.
Man, I started thinking this a long time ago.
I had that mindset a long time ago.
There was one game, man. I probably was about 4 or 5 years in, man. I made a tackle, and I just rolled over on my back, and I thought to myself, I looked up at the sky. I was like, why the hell am I still out here?
Yeah.
Did that ever happen to you?
Yeah, well, it did, man. You always like, man, I'm out here, it's throwing your body around, big grown men playing a kid's game. But it crossed my mind too.
Yeah, I was like, man, why the hell am I still out here, man? There has to be something better than this.
Exactly.
But then it's the transition that you're afraid of.
And you got to redefine yourself all over again. You're like, man, well, what do I do? Because I'm no longer a football player, but I'm still a man. I got to provide for my family because I had a business finance degree. But I ain't played in the NFL for the past 5 years. And nobody had no experience. And a lot of times we have gifts and talents on the inside of us that are laying dormant until we step into that right environment that actually activate them and wake those gifts and talents up. I didn't know what I could do until I was put to that test, until I was in that position where I had to sink or swim.
Talk in more detail about what's in the book and what people can learn from it.
So one of the main things I talked about, having a fan mentality or a player's mentality.
Oh, man. I talk about that every day.
Like a lot of people, man, that fan mentality, they sit in the stands of life and they talk about everybody else, they cheer everybody else on, they criticize this person, criticize that person for taking that step of faith, but they don't do nothing themselves. But they stay in their comfort zone, the comfort zone of life. And they just cheering, they just a fan, But that player is going to take risks. He's going to step out on the field. That's why it's only 22 players at one time on the field and there's 65,000 in the stands. It says in the Bible that the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are free.
Yeah.
Few, you know what I mean? Because everybody don't have the guts, man, to step out there and do their own things and open up their own business. Not just that, but just to be in the front. The majority of the world, at least about 90% of them, going to sit back and just be followers. And they're going to be comfortable with talking about the next man. If you got to talk about the next man, I get up and walk out the room because that's that fan mentality.
Well, you hitting that nail on the head today, man, because I was just thinking today, I was like, why are so many people followers? Why are so many people caught up on gossip? You can go talk to somebody and you can feel that something has changed between you and that person, but you don't know what it is.
It's detrimental to the society where it's the negativity. A fan gonna sit there and they're gonna find entertainment in your struggle.
And then come ask you for an autograph.
They gonna eat hamburgers, hot dogs, while you out there fighting for your life on that football field.
You speak about core principles.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk more in detail about that?
Yes. So core principles, man. I'm real big on the golden rule: treat people how you want to be treated.
Lou Holmes.
Lou Holmes. That's it. Man. That's the golden rule. My father used to always tell me that: treat people how you want to be treated. But the test is, even if they don't treat you how you treat them, still treat them the right way. Because at the end of the day, it's a character test for you. Are you gonna let your emotional man be the bigger man, or are you gonna let your spiritual man be the bigger man? Being disciplined. A lot of people ain't disciplined. Discipline ain't what you want to do. The reason a lot of people don't get where they at because they lack that discipline of sticking to it and doing it day in, day. Do it when you feel like it. Do it when you don't. It says God said, "Be faithful with the little things, and I'll make you rule over much." But faithfulness comes from being disciplined. He didn't say if you just be a hard worker, I'll make you rule over much. There's a lot of hard workers out here that are struggling today. But if you discipline means you're faithful with the little thing. You do it when you feel like it. You do it when you don't. You do it because you know it has to be done.
A lot of people, when they allow setbacks to take them out their game.
Yes.
How do you turn setbacks into opportunities?
Amen. Well, easy for me. I always say, what is there for me to learn in this situation? Because there's always a silver lining in the cloud. If you're dealing with a situation, you're dealing with a setback, you're dealing with a failure, you have to be able to look past it and find out what it is that I need to learn in this situation. Because I'm in this test for a reason. Because whatever I'm in this test, it's something that I need to go to the next level that I need. If I need more faith, if I need more resilience, it's something that I got to learn. If I need to stop being so nice to people, learn how to tell people no, it's something that I got to learn at this level in order for me to go to the next level to use. So I feel that setbacks kind of prepare us to propel us forward. It's almost like a slingshot. Setback is pulling you back. You feel like you're going backwards, but it's preparing you to propel you forward because it's teaching you a lot. It's giving you more wisdom. It's giving you more grit. It's giving you more fuel for the fire to get where you're going.
You talk about the difference between calling and your purpose. They both seem like they're the same thing to me.
Right.
What is the difference?
Great question. Well, I tell people your calling is something you do on a daily basis, and your calling can change. I may have 5 different callings. I'm an author, I'm a businessman, I'm a coach, I'm a mentor, I'm a father, and more. But your purpose is your destination. So my purpose always is to impact people's lives in a positive way. All right. Now, how I get to that destination is through coaching. It's through being a businessman. It's through being an author, and all because those are vehicles to help me fulfill my purpose. A lot of people sometimes get caught up in thinking their purpose is going to be one thing. It may be one thing for a season, but after a while, that calling will change. Yeah, I may be called into politics, but God is calling me somewhere else in this next season.
What can people expect to learn from your book other than what we talked about?
Be a leader. Find your calling, find your purpose in your book, because a lot of times we go through things and we got to understand that life always gives us signs and points us in the right direction on where to go. We got to follow those signs. So God gives us signs, and we got to pay attention to those signs that He gives us. If you see something 2 or 3 times, He's trying to tell you something. He's trying to get your attention, and you got to follow those. So sometimes you got to go meet your opportunity.
Yeah. But how do you avoid missing those signs? It seems like it would be real easy to miss.
Yes.
I mean, especially if you're really afraid to succeed, because a lot of people are afraid, so they don't move forward into their purpose because they're afraid to fail.
Yeah, and a lot of times that happens by being in the wrong environment. See, sometimes people are in the wrong environment. So if you're in a negative environment, not just a negative environment, but a mediocre or complacent environment, you miss your calling all the way. Because everybody around you pecking at the ground or a chicken, you don't know that you're an eagle. You're going to do the same thing they do. We all adapt to our environment. We adapt to our football environment. We adapt to everything around us. So sometimes in order to achieve greater, you got to step outside your environment. You got to get outside of what you are comfortable with seeing on a daily basis to know that, oh man, I was thinking totally wrong. Because I think your attitude is determined by your environment.